All right, so I've been explaining what my goal is with these 5-minute dovetails, but I figured I'd actually show it, see how captivating that is. I can't really see it on the camera, but I have everything I need. You know, I got actually all my pieces right here, right in arm's reach, but I've got the two I'm going to use. I have already cleaned them up, so there's no markings on them. I know what I want to do. This piece over here, you'll see me use that in a minute. I made a mistake of not having that for the first one, but sharpened pencil, coping saw. This is a dovetail saw, which I've taken a oil in a rag, oil can. There's a rag in the oil can there. That just takes away friction. I've got a sharpened 3/4 inch chisel. I have got my mallet all right here, and then that is just an assembly hammer that I like to keep. Just like I haven't started yet, my guess is this is probably going to take me more than 5 minutes if I'm talking through it and verbalizing, but I figured I'd let you know what's going on. And with the dovetail, I have to know how far down to cut. So I'm not using a square. I'm just going to line this piece up here, draw a line, and then do the same thing here. And what that is showing me right off the bat is what side is the face and which side is the top. Normally I would just do a pencil line, and I would then take out my dovetail template and lay it all out, but in this case you won't be able to see exactly what I'm doing, but I'm just going to cut the tails in here without drawing any lines. Normally I have lines that I'm working to, so I have to make sure, and this cut going across, I'm just going like, again, this is going to take more than 5 minutes if I'm explaining it, but this cut right here, that one that goes across, is the single most important angle when it comes to a dovetail. So now I'm just going to kind of eye it for a good angle down to that line, and I don't want to try not to go past that line. And now I'm going to try to make this size here an equivalent one, again, just by eye, and to try to get that straight across. I'm actually looking at the saw plate, looking at the reflection. If I have a straight line in the reflection of the saw plate, well then I know I'm square across. All right, so now there's the dovetail. I got the lines going down to my pencil line. I've got to take this piece and that piece off. Again, normally I would have a square and straight line. So here I'm just kind of eyeballing it again, and I'm working to keep that saw straight, and then that piece should come off. Same thing over here. This is where I kind of messed up on the first one. One of these went too far down, one of them not enough. Hear the pitch sound, that change, that means I'm close. I'm going to use a chisel just to get rid of some of those fuzzy bits. And normally when I make that cut, I would use a cross cut, so slightly different teeth than what I have here. I can still barely see the pencil line, although there's a little hump right there. Okay. Now I got to cut the corresponding angle. Here I'm going to line this up. Oh, actually, right, I can see right off the bat. That right there dips down underneath the line, so that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. So let's line that up. Good there. Draw one line. Draw the other line. Now I'm taking this piece out. So the goal, can we see that? With these lines, I need to cut straight down. I'm not going to draw any lines because, again, that's by intuition. So I'm going to keep my saw on the waist side. So I'm going to keep my saw here and on this side of the line. until I get down to that line I drew at the very beginning. So just trying to keep my arm nice and loose. Changing my whole body stance so that way the saw still runs the exact same way. My arm just going back and through. And I am at the line, I'm at the line. Here's something I don't normally do. Coping saw, normally I would chisel that out to a knife line, really get it nice, but here, we're going to get rid of that. And, ooh, a little under my line. I guess I'm not really good with that tool as I don't use it very often. And normally I would have a knife line to put this in, but working just to a pencil line, not very normal for me. For people that used to do this for a living in 1800s, this is how they would do it every time. Just get rid of those little fuzzy bits. Get rid of those little fuzzy bits. Okay. I don't really like the way that looks, but we're just gonna have to go for it. When in doubt, use a bigger hammer. Okay. So that would be, oh, and look at that. I was off. We got to split down the side here because I was, let's see if we can figure out why. Yep, right there. The coping saw, I made a turn with the coping saw, left a bit right there that I didn't take the time to chisel out properly. Made that internal part too narrow, causing that split. So maybe not the best thing to put an example of, but it teaches me what I need to work on. Let's get that down. In terms of the depth, that is good. I'm going to try to take some positives. It's got this gap right here where I saw it beneath the line. But overall, again, that's attempt number 2. I'm going to write that down. I am disappointed by the split that is there, but again, let's just take that out. That looks decent for not really fussing too much with it. And again, if I really had to, I could glue that back up. You would never even see it, never even know it. And you know, I pulling this piece down, that joint would work in a drawer. You know, that would hold. So 5-minute dovetail. I want to get a whole bunch of those done just to get the practice of the intuition.